The city hums with rain and restless light. Ethan walks with coworkers beneath umbrellas, his laughter rising above the hiss of passing tires. He tells a joke that earns brief applause. Confidence masking emptiness. Across the street, a woman sits quietly beneath a broken lamp, a cardboard sign resting in her lap. "I once had a home." He glances her way, smirking the kind of smirk meant to remind himself that he's above pity. "Maybe she's saving up for Wi-Fi," he murmurs, and the others laugh. But the woman doesn't flinch. She simply looks up, her eyes meeting his through the rain, calm, piercing, unbearably human. Then she reaches into her coat and pulls out something small. A photograph. She offers it wordlessly. Ethan takes it, amused. But as he looks, the smile drains from his face. Two children beam from the faded picture, one of them unmistakably him. His breath catches. The street noise vanishes. Only his heartbeat remains. The rain drowns every sound except his own heartbeat. Ethan stares at the photograph, feeling its weight grow heavier in his hand. His co-workers are gone. The crowd has blurred into faceless motion. "Where did you get this?" he asks. His voice cracks. Mara doesn't speak. Her gaze softens, and for a moment, there's sorrow, not accusation. She gestures faintly toward the photo and whispers, "You remember." The words strike something deep. A faint echo of laughter in the sun, a promise made and broken long ago. Ethan shakes his head, forcing the image away, but it lingers. That house, that child, that bond I'd forgotten. Mara turns, walking into the mist. Ethan tries to call out, but his throat locks, and she disappears before the words can escape. Back in his apartment, the world feels too quiet. The photograph lies on the counter beside a glass of untouched whiskey. Ethan stares at it as if it might explain itself. He tries to laugh again, but it won't come. The face in that picture, the boy's smile, is his own. He whispers into the empty room, "Who are you?" But the silence answers him instead. Outside, rain taps against the window, turning the skyline into a watercolor of regret. He picks up the photograph, running his thumb across the faded edges. A strange ache rises, not fear, but something older. Shame, maybe, or memory. Morning. The city is washed clean but cold. Ethan walks the same streets, photograph clutched in his coat pocket. He searches every corner, every alley, scanning faces. Nothing. He stops near the streetlight where she sat. The puddles are dry now. A food vendor nearby glances up, looking for someone. The man asks. "She was here last night. A woman, dark hair, quiet." The vendor shrugs. "She's around sometimes. Never talks. Always watching people like she's waiting for someone to remember her." Ethan nods, thanks him, and walks away, his pulse heavy in his ears. The city feels different now. Too familiar, too haunted. That night, Ethan dreams. The city fades into sunlight and green grass. Two children run barefoot across a small yard, their laughter bright and unbroken. A woman's voice calls from the porch. "Warm? Safe." Then a door slams, and the dream fractures. He sees the girl crying, hands reaching as strangers pull them apart. He wakes with a gasp. The photo lies beside him on the nightstand, glowing faintly in dawn's first light. His hands shake as he picks it up. "Mara," he whispers, and the name feels like a key turning in a locked door inside his chest. For the first time in years, his heart hurts for someone other than himself. Ethan stands in the lobby of the city's social services building, the photograph folded neatly in his pocket. The fluorescent light hums above him, sterile and unforgiving. He feels out of place here. His tailored suit too sharp, his shoes too loud on the linoleum floor. At the reception desk, an older woman looks up. "Can I help you?" He hesitates, the words almost too heavy to speak. "I'm looking for someone. Her name's Mara." She was in foster care years ago. The woman's expression changes. Not surprised, but cautious. You'll need to fill out a request. Records that old aren't easy to find. Ethan nods, gripping the pen too tightly. The sound of it scratching paper fills the silence between them. Somewhere inside him, a boy's voice whispers, "Don't let her disappear again." Hours pass. Ethan sits alone at a table surrounded by old files and cardboard boxes that smell of dust and time. His fingers sift through pages stamped confidential. Then he sees it. Mara Jensen. Case hash 47B. The file is thin, just a few reports. A photo stapled to the front. A girl with a shy smile, eyes too old for her age. The notes are brutal in their simplicity. Separated from sibling. Foster placement terminated. Missing. Age 16. He stares at that single word. Missing. The weight of it presses down on him until his chest aches. He folds the paper carefully, as if it might crumble under guilt alone. He whispers her name again, quieter this time, almost a prayer. He drives through the evening toward a small neighborhood at the edge of the city, one he hasn't seen in years. The house looks smaller than he remembers. His mother's window glows warm through the twilight. Laura opens the door before he knocks. Her eyes, kind but cautious. "Take him in." "You only visit when something's broken," she says, softly. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he hands her the photograph. She studies it for a long moment, breath catching. "Where did you get this?" "She gave it to me," Ethan says. Mara, her lips part, disbelief and sorrow blending. "They told me she ran away. I tried to find her, Ethan. I did." The words hang between them, trembling like fragile glass. Laura leads him inside. The living room smells faintly of coffee and rain. She pulls an old box from a cabinet, a box Ethan hasn't seen since childhood. Inside, crayon drawings, a toy car, and a small wooden hairbrush. "This was hers," Laura says, handing him the brush. A single strand of dark hair still clings to it. Ethan closes his eyes. He remembers laughter, two children sharing a secret world under the same roof. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" Laura sighs. "You were too young. They thought it was better if you forgot." "Forgotten?" The word burns. He sets the brush down gently like a fragile piece of time and whispers, "I think she never forgot me." Outside, the rain begins again. Ethan stands on the porch, the city's skyline faint in the distance. The photo feels different in his hands now, not a riddle, but a calling. He looks out at the wet street, at the reflections trembling in puddles, and makes a silent promise. "I'll find her," he murmurs. Behind him, Laura's voice drifts through the doorway. "She may not want to be found." He nods without turning. "Then I'll just be there, in case she does." The wind picks up, carrying the scent of rain and memory. For the first time, Ethan lets it wash over him without looking away. Days pass. The city remains gray. Ethan walks its streets each night, guided by instinct more than reason. Eventually, he finds her, beneath an old bridge where the river runs slow and silent. Mara sits near the water's edge, wrapped in a blanket, a paper cup beside her. When she looks up, it's not surprise he sees, but weariness, as if she expected him all along. He stops a few steps away. "You disappeared." "I always do," she answers softly. The silence between them stretches. The river moves beneath their words, carrying the echoes of lives they once shared. He steps closer, and for the first time, she doesn't turn away. They sit together beneath the bridge. The sound of rain on concrete fills the gaps their voices can't bridge. Ethan hands her a thermos. She accepts it without a word. "I found your file," he says quietly. "You were listed as missing." Mara smiles faintly, not bitter, Just tired. Missing is just what they call it when no one's looking. He looks at her then, really looks. The sharp edges of his own life, money, status, comfort, crumble beneath the weight of that simple truth. I should have remembered you. You were a child, she says. You did what they wanted you to do. Forget? He shakes his head. No. I laughed at you. Her eyes soften. And now you're here. That's enough. Later that night, Mara unfolds a small plastic sleeve from her backpack. A set of photos, old and creased. They told me you were adopted, she says. That you got a family. I was supposed to follow, but I never did. Ethan studies the photos. A foster home, 2 children, the same White House. You tried to find me. She nods. When I turned 16, I went back. They said you'd moved. That you probably didn't even remember my name. Her voice cracks only once. Then she smiles. Faintly. Almost to herself. I used to carry that photo because it proved I wasn't imagining you. Ethan swallows hard. And I laughed at you in the street. You didn't recognize me, she whispers. But I recognized you. Rain begins again, steady and cleansing. Mara looks up, face tilted toward the water falling through cracks in the bridge. You know what I hated most? She says quietly. Not being forgotten, being invisible. Ethan steps forward. You're not invisible now. She laughs once, short, almost disbelieving. Then look at me, he does. Really looks. The city noise fades. Only the rain remains. I see you, he says, and in that moment, something shifts. The wall between them dissolves, and the air feels heavy with shared memory and the ache of years lost. As the rain lightens, Ethan takes off his coat and places it gently around Mara's shoulders. Come with me, he says, just for tonight. Somewhere warm. She hesitates. And then what? Then we figure it out. Her eyes linger on his, searching, measuring if this version of him can be trusted. Finally, she nods. Okay. They walk together toward the city's faint glow. For the first time in years, Ethan feels lighter. But as the wind carries their footsteps into the night, he can't help but wonder what forgiveness will cost, and whether he deserves it. The rain follows them home. Ethan unlocks the door to his apartment, a sleek, immaculate space where silence feels louder than comfort. Mara hesitates on the threshold, dripping water onto polished floors. You can shower, he says quietly, gesturing toward the hallway. Towels are in the cabinet, she nods, eyes scanning the room. The glass, the chrome, the order. It's a different universe from the street. While she disappears down the hall, Ethan stands motionless, watching the puddles form where she'd been. The photo rests on the counter beside the untouched drink from days ago. He realizes the irony. It's the first thing in this place that feels alive. Steam fills the small bathroom. Mara stares at her reflection. Pale skin, tired eyes, a faint scar tracing her temple. She wipes the mirror, revealing the woman she has become beneath. Years of rain and pavement. Ethan waits in the kitchen, the sound of running water muffled behind him. He catches his reflection in the dark window. The same haunted eyes, only in a cleaner world. When she emerges, wrapped in one of his towels, he offers her tea. Their eyes meet. Neither speaks. The silence between them feels strangely human, fragile, and honest. They sit on opposite ends of the couch, the city glowing faintly beyond the glass. Mara holds the cup between both hands, letting the warmth soak in. Where did you go? Ethan finally asks. Everywhere, she says, and nowhere long enough to matter. He nods, eyes lowered. He shouldn't have had to. She studies him, the regret etched in his face. The boy she once knew hiding beneath years of armor. You got out, she says. You made it. He shakes his head. I escaped. That's not the same thing. A small silence. The rain beats gently on the window like the pulse of something forgiving. Laura's box sits on the table, brought with him like a confession. Ethan opens it carefully. I found these at Mom's, he says. Inside are fragments of another life. Drawings, buttons, a small wooden brush. Mara's eyes wide. She picks up the brush, fingertips trembling. You kept this? She did, Ethan answers softly. I didn't even know it was still there. Mara holds the brush to her chest, closing her eyes. For a moment, the years vanish. She is a child again, safe in a memory she thought was gone. Ethan watches, torn between grief and awe. The silence that fills the room is no longer awkward. It's sacred. They fall asleep on opposite sides of the couch, the photo resting between them. Morning creeps slowly through the blinds, pale and tender. The storm has passed. Ethan wakes first, watching the faint rhythm of Mara's breathing. For the first time, peace feels close enough to touch. He whispers, "You're home." She stirs, eyes fluttering open, a sleepy smile touching her lips. For now, she murmurs. The words settle into the morning light, fragile but real, the first thread of healing woven between them. A week passes. The city grows colder, the streets glistening with frost. Ethan's life has slowed, meetings ignored, calls unanswered. His world has narrowed to this apartment and the quiet presence of Mara. One morning he leaves briefly to buy breakfast. When he returns, she's sitting by the window, a folded newspaper in her lap. Her hands are shaking. They found a body, she says softly. Under the bridge. Ethan freezes. Who? She doesn't look up. Someone I used to know. The paper slides from her hands and lands on the floor, headline blurring under sunlight and shadow. The past has followed her home. That evening, a knock rattles the door. Ethan opens it to find a police officer standing there, rain dripping from his coat. Ethan Cole? Yes, the officer nods. We're asking about a woman named Mara Jensen. She's connected to an open case. We heard you might know her. Ethan glances toward the living room. Mara stands frozen by the hallway, eyes wide. She is safe here, he says quickly. The officer's gaze softens, but his voice stays formal. Tell her to come by the station. It's not about charges. We just need to confirm details. When the door closes, silence fills the room again. Mara's voice breaks it. They think I'm dead. That night, Mara packs a small bag. Ethan watches her from across the room. You don't have to run, he says. She shakes her head. It's what I do. Then let me go with you. Her eyes glisten, caught between gratitude and pain. You can't follow someone who doesn't have a destination. He steps closer, voice steady now. Then I'll follow the part of me that still remembers you. She stops, the zipper half closed. The sound of the rain returns, soft, persistent, like the pulse of time repeating itself. I can't stay here, Mara says, voice trembling. It's too easy to believe I belong. Ethan closes the distance between them. You do. She laughs softly, bitter and tender all at once. You don't fix people by remembering them. He looks down, ashamed. Then let me learn how to stay instead. She studies him for a long moment, then whispers, You really think you can carry my ghosts? Ethan answers without hesitation, Only if you'll carry mine. The silence afterward is heavy, filled with everything neither of them knows how to say. In the early morning hours, Ethan wakes to find Mara gone. Her blanket folded neatly on the couch, the photo placed on top. For a moment, panic grips him. Then the phone rings. He answers with a shaking hand. A quiet voice on the other end. I'm at the bridge. Mara, I didn't leave to disappear. I left to stop hiding. Stay there, he says, already reaching for his coat. I'm coming. Outside, The first snow of winter begins to fall, each flake catching light like the fragments of everything still unfinished between them. The city still sleeps as Ethan reaches the bridge. Snow falls softly, muting the world to a hush. His breath clouds in the air. His footsteps echo against wet concrete. Mara stands by the river, wrapped in the same blanket, hair whipped by the cold wind. He approaches slowly. "You shouldn't have come here alone." She looks out at the water, voice quiet. "It's where I remember everything." He stops beside her. The river reflects the faint light of dawn, two figures mirrored in gray water, still divided by everything they never said. "I used to come here," Mara says, "when things got bad. The river didn't judge me, it just kept moving." Ethan's voice trembles. "I forgot you. I let them erase you." She turns to him then, eyes not angry, only tired. "You were a child, Ethan." "I'm not anymore," he says, "and I still left you there." She steps closer, snow gathering in her hair like fragile stars. "You didn't leave me. The world did." He closes his eyes, the ache spilling over at last. The words are small but certain. "I'm sorry." And for the first time, she lets herself cry. Mara reaches into her coat pocket and pulls out the same old photograph. Edges frayed, colors faded. She presses it into his hand. "You should keep it now," she says. "I don't need proof anymore." He looks at it. Two children smiling, untouched by everything that came after. Ethan shakes his head gently. "Then neither of us should." He tears the photo in half, not in anger, but relief. Then he lets the pieces fall into the river. They drift away together, dissolving into the current until they are nothing but memory. The silence that follows is pure and deep. The river sighs. The snow thickens. Then, slowly, Mara steps forward and rests her forehead against Ethan's chest. His arms lift, hesitant at first, then tighten around her. For a long moment, they simply stand there, two lives finally aligned in the cold morning. "It's not your fault," she whispers. "Maybe not," he answers, voice breaking, "but it's my turn to care." Wind softens. The city begins to wake, and with it something new inside them, not redemption but peace. Later, as daylight spreads across the river, they walk back toward the city. The bridge fades behind them, swallowed by mist. Mara glances sideways at him, a faint smile breaking through the chill. "What happens now?" Ethan exhales. "We start over, no past. Just now," she nods. "Then let's walk slow." The camera would linger as they move into the light. Two figures leaving behind the ghosts that once defined them, footprints already filling with snow. Weeks later, the snow has turned to slush and the city's hum has softened into routine. Ethan walks beside Mara through the gates of a local shelter, the same one his mother once managed. The staff greet Laura with surprise when she sees her son helping carry boxes of clothes. Mara watches from the doorway, her hands buried in the pockets of a borrowed coat. Laura's gaze moves between them, a silent recognition passing through her eyes. Ethan turns to Mara and says, "You don't owe anyone an apology." Mara smiles faintly. "Maybe not, but I want to thank the world anyway for giving me another chance to stand inside a warm room." Later, Mara finds a child's art project on one of the tables, a collage of faces and colors glued to thick paper. She studies it for a moment, then tears a corner of blank space and sketches two small stick figures. One boy, one girl, holding hands. Ethan approaches, smiling. "What's that?" "Something new," she says, setting the drawing under the drying rack. "We don't need the old photo anymore." He nods, looking down at the two tiny shapes. "Guess not." But in the way his voice softens, there's something that sounds like prayer. They walk together past the corner where it all began. The flickering streetlight still buzzes faintly, the concrete still stained by winter rain. Mara stops, staring at the spot where she once sat. "It feels smaller," she murmurs. "Or maybe we got bigger." Ethan says. She smiles, soft and steady. You used to laugh here. He looks away, ashamed, then back at her. And you forgave me here. She reaches out, squeezing his hand gently. That's what home is. The place you forgive someone. A month later, Mara helps at the shelter, part-time, sorting donations, laughing with volunteers. Ethan stops by often after work, bringing groceries, fixing things, staying late. One evening, Laura finds them repainting a wall together, pale blue over faded gray. The scent of fresh paint mixes with laughter and quiet music. Laura pauses at the doorway, her heart full. You too, she says softly. You finally came home. Neither replies, but the look they share says everything words could never hold. Evening. The city skyline glows orange as the sun lowers beyond the rooftops. Ethan and Mara sit on a bench overlooking the river. The same one that once separated them. The water glimmers, calm now, carrying no ghosts. Mara leans her head on his shoulder. Do you think people ever really change? Ethan smiles faintly. No, I think we just remember who we were supposed to be. The last light of day catches their faces, turning everything gold. The river moves quietly on, and for the first time, neither of them looks back.